A very good morning to everybody. Today, I am very glad to introduce the resource person of our today's session, Dr. Sushma. She is working as an assistant professor in Sri Narayanama Institute of Technology and Science in the Department of Humanities and Mathematics. She is an enthusiastic professional. She updates herself and considers learning as a lifelong process. She did MA and MPhil in Andhra University. She is a gold medalist in PG and she did her PhD in Indian diasporic literature. She is an expert in ELT, language skills, soft skills, phonetics, and functional grammar. She has published a book and also she published many papers in international journals and resourceful journals. Thank you. I hand over the session to Dr. Sushma.
Hello and welcome to today's session. Today we are going to talk about flipped classroom. I am Dr. B. Sushma, Assistant Professor of English, G. Narayanamma Institute of Technology and Science, Hyderabad. So firstly, we will be dealing with what is a flipped classroom, what is the difference between a traditional classroom and a flipped classroom, why do we require flipped classrooms, how should a flipped classroom be conducted, how can we design a lesson plan for a flipped classroom, a model lesson plan of a flipped classroom, the benefits and outcomes of a flipped classroom. To talk about the difference between the traditional classroom and the flipped classroom, in a traditional classroom, the lecturer gives the lecture, she teaches the subject, the students listen to her, note down the points, and the teacher gives them some homework to do at their home. Whereas in a flipped classroom, the students themselves watch some videos or they read some material online and they get acquainted with the topic that is going to be dealt with in the class, and then they come to the classroom. The teacher then conducts some activities based on the lectures or based on the videos they have watched or based on the content that they have read online or from books or from journals, magazines, etc. And there is a lot of peer interaction and lot of group activities that take place in a flipped classroom. So if we just flip a coin, we get the other side of the coin. So flipped classroom is the opposite of traditional classroom. Let us understand it better. Here we have the example of a traditional classroom. The teacher is teaching and the students are listening to the teacher and they are taking down the notes and they are learning the concept. The teacher might also ask some questions in between. Right? This is the traditional classroom. If you have observed, the learners are in one place and they are passive learners. They're just listening and then writing down. This is a traditional classroom. Whereas in a flipped classroom, when the teacher gives a lot of activities to the students move around. They are not confined to a particular place. And a lot of skills are also developed in the students. For example, problem solving, reasoning skills, fluency. When one learner interacts with the other learners, they are developing their abilities to interact with others. The teacher also supports them. She is not the one who is at the center and then delivering the lecture. She just moves around and guides the students. Then the students also get peer support. One student learns from the other. So this is the flipped learning lesson. In a flipped classroom, learners become active, the teachers become facilitators or supporters. They are not the dispensers of knowledge, right? Whereas in a traditional classroom, the environment would be like this. So now, flipped classroom versus technology. There is a misconception that flipped classroom means we have to compulsorily use technology in it. In a flipped classroom, we need not use technology at all. We can just conduct some activities and the students, they take part in them. Sometimes, if we want to integrate our classroom with technology, we can also do that. When we ask the students to watch the videos in the classroom itself, and when we give them some online tasks, then we call it as blended learning. So flipped classroom and blended learning go together. But if the teacher is not acquainted with using of technology, he or she can conduct the flipped classroom without the use of technology also. But why technology is being used in the 21st century is the teachers are unable to engage the learners, and even the learners are also advanced. They know more about technology, social media, and others. They are more informed than the teachers. That is the reason the teachers also have to go with the trend. So, flipped classroom can be either with the use of technology or without the use of technology. Now, to conduct your flipped classroom, what are the various steps that teachers can take? Step 1, we have the pre-teaching phase. Before the actual classroom happens, the teacher needs to select some right materials. The teachers can give the links of some videos or PDF notes or Wikipedia links, web articles, whatever material is relevant to that particular topic, the topic which you are teaching. The teacher can give the material, and this material has to be given at least 3 days before the actual session. Now, after giving the materials, the teachers should instruct the students to watch, read, learn, and come to the class. So some kind of learning happens even before the class. Then the teacher also can say that there would be a test conducted based on what they have watched, read, and learnt. So here what is happening? The learners are taking the learning into their own hands. But the teacher's responsibility is to choose the right materials. Sometimes if your learners are really good, you need not choose the materials. They themselves can read and come to the class. It depends on the teacher and the students. The teacher alone knows what kind of students he or she has. Then in step 2, this is also before teaching, before going to the actual classroom, the teachers need to prepare a quiz that includes MCQs, multiple choice questions, yes or no questions, opinion based questions. Around 10 to 15 questions can be prepared based on the videos or the content that they have given to the learners. This will enable the learners to know, they will also feel that okay, a test is going to be conducted, and so they would be prepared, they would be alert. And the teachers also can assess whether the students have watched the videos, whether they have read the content or not. Then step 3, this is in the class, during the class. The first and foremost step is the teacher has to give the test. They have to administer the test that they have prepared. So allow the students to watch the video again if they need to. If they say, ma'am, we did not have any net connectivity, or we did not have the time to watch it, etc., you can also give some time for them to watch it once again. So give 10 minutes to watch the video if your class supports technology. Otherwise, you can just give the strict instructions that they have to watch, they have to read, and then only come to the class. Then, based on this test, they will do the other activities also. So, activity 1 is give 10 minutes to attempt the test, 10 minutes to watch the video. After that, 10 minutes to attempt the test. This is activity number 1. Then, activity number 2. So we can promote a discussion for 10 minutes on the topic they have watched or read by dividing them into groups. Now the teacher can divide the students into various groups, and she can ask the students to discuss what new things they have learned from the material. What did they know before and what they have learned new after watching this video or reading the content. Then the discussion should be among the group members. After the discussion is over for 10 minutes, you can ask one student from each group to just say what they have learned, what they have discussed. So the questions that the teachers can ask the students are their opinions on the content they have read, what are the new things that they have learned, etc. Then in step 5, we need to conduct the activity, third activity. So here preparation, peer work and presentations. 10 minutes plus 10 minutes can be given. If it is an English class, we can also give role plays. This is optional. If it is a mathematics class or a physics class or chemistry class, you can ask the students to do some peer work, like they will discuss among themselves. And if it is a math class, you can give some problems, solving problems in groups. And from each group, one student can come and solve the problem on the board. If it is an English class, if I have given mind mapping as the activity to them, they will sit and discuss with their friends how to draw the mind map, etc. And then one student from each group would come and draw the mind map on the board. So this is activity 3. So preparation of peer work and then the presentation. The teacher's role is being a facilitator. The teacher moves around and she sees whether the work is going on or not. And if the students also have some doubts, they would approach the teacher. Then step 6. We can also give the peer feedback. Teacher's feedback is the one which was done earlier, but now we can go for peer feedback. One group can assess the other group based on the presentations they have done. So how to assess the other students, other groups? You can also give some rubrics. Rubrics are parameters to do the problem, like to do the assessment. So these rubrics can be quickness in solving the problem, effective presentation, etc. Each group can assess the other group based on some rubrics. So here I have given an example. Group 1 assesses group 2. Group 2 assesses group 3. Group 3 again assesses group 4. Like that, 5, 6. Again, 6th group will assess the first group. Like that, peer feedback can also be given. So with this, the learners become quite active and they try to assess and enjoy by giving feedback to the classmates. So this is the lesson plan overview. So these are the various activities. Watching the video, 10 minutes. Administering the test, preliminary test, 10 minutes. Because the teacher will know whether they have watched the videos, whether they have read the content and come to the class or not. Then discussion based on the same test or based on the content they have read for 10 minutes. One from each group will come and talk about it. Then we have next activity wherein the students sit and do some pair work, and then again presentation will happen via Blackboard, etc. Then the last activity is peer feedback as to how the others have performed. So this comes to around 60 minutes in total, right? So this is how you can give a lesson to your students. This is the flipped classroom lesson plan. So what are the advantages of a flipped classroom? Because of this flipped classroom, students become independent learners. Teacher becomes a mentor and a facilitator. She is not the dispenser of knowledge, but she is only a facilitator wherein active participation from the learners will happen, and the teachers also, they go monitor and mentor the students. The learners are also ready to participate. They have that readiness to participate because they have that unthreatening environment. So nobody will feel that, okay, somebody is watching us, or they won't get offended even when they participate in groups because everybody feels comfortable in groups. Then enthusiasm in solving the quiz and giving presentations. They show a lot of enthusiasm, especially if they write the quiz, if they solve the quiz, they will know whether they have watched the content well or not. And when they give the presentations also, they gain that confidence levels and they show that energy and enthusiasm. Then team skills are also tested, interactive abilities through pair work, group work, whether they are working effectively as a team or not. The teacher can also reward the teams that do it first, right? And it will be a sort of motivation to the learners. Then confidence building also happens through presentations and solving problems. Even the slow learners, the average learners, they catch up with the pace and they also show a lot of interest and they also become active learners. Then evaluation abilities also develop through peer feedback. The students also know how to assess the other students. The final outcome of this flipped classroom is more participation and learning in a comfortable environment. I would also give you a PDF document wherein you can just see the lesson plan, how I have prepared certain questions for the quiz, and for activity 2 and activity 3, what sort of instructions I have given for a flipped classroom. Based on that, you can also give a lesson plan for your own flipped classrooms related to your own disciplines. Hope this presentation was clear to you. So thank you. And you can just find me on email ID. This is my email ID. You can find me on website, personal website, on Google Sites. These are my YouTube channels and blog sutma300.blogspot.com. Thank you for patient listening. Hello and welcome. Here is the lesson plan for a flipped classroom. The class time, which we have already discussed, is 60 minutes, right? So now the same thing I have given over here. So serial number, time, activity, materials, teacher's role. So you can just design your lesson plan also using the same format. I'll provide this format also. So the first 10 minutes, watching the video related to the concept that has to be learned. So this is the activity and the materials required for these are YouTube links, PDF files as I have already mentioned. And I have just given the description over here about the teacher's role. So now the next activity is 10 minutes administering the test after watching the video. How to create the test also, I have given the information over here. Then teacher administers the test. So you can refer to page number 2 over here, page number 3 for the various types of questions asked in the test, etc. Then for all these stages, for all these activities, we have to be ready with the materials, right? So this is the sample lesson plan which we have already discussed in the previous video. Now we'll go ahead with activity 1 which is described over there. Before coming to the class, the students need to read and watch the videos and come, right? So these are the links that you can provide to them. So YouTube links, Wikipedia links, other reading material, links of images on mind maps. So what I have decided for an English class is to help the learners understand the concept of mind mapping and even to draw mind maps. So this is the material that I have designed for them. You can either share this as a handout or else you can share the links on WhatsApp class groups or whatever media you want, you can share. Right, before coming to the class, the students have to be thorough with all this material. They have to read and watch and come to the class. Then activity 2, the materials for activity 2, the teacher can design like this. The teacher has to design a test on mind mapping because I have chosen mind mapping. So you can also choose your own topic related to your subject, physics, chemistry, mathematics, or engineering, any concept related to your subject. Now here there are these questions. I have framed these questions on mind mapping. Why should we use mind maps? Yes or no questions. This is an open-ended question and this is a multiple choice question. This is a true or false question. And then, these are again two options here like a multiple choice question. And draw a mind map for the following topic by picking out the main words and phrases, important words and phrases. This is a very short paragraph of 4 lines. So they will also not feel burdened to draw it. They'll just pick up the important words and then they'll draw the mind map. So this is the second activity. So for activity 4, that is the group work. So again, if it is a subject like mathematics or physics or chemistry, they have to solve the problems. So you can give some 5 to 6 problems over here. What I have done is I have chosen a passage on habits, a small passage, and I will ask my learners to prepare a mind map, right? So this is for English class. So for your own class, you can also design some questions, like write question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, give 5 or 6 problems or case studies or whatever, and then give this the handout to the students, right? So all these handouts should be ready before you go to the class, because in a flipped classroom, we need to give lots of activities and the teachers also have to be ready with the materials. And now activity 6, the last one, peer feedback, how students can also give feedback to their own groups, right? So they will give feedback to each other. The teacher will not give feedback on each and every group's performance. They themselves will assess each other, right? So on what basis they should assess, you can just give the rubrics or the criteria. See, drawing of mind map. If it is an English class, how did they draw the mind map? Are the topics and subtopics given clearly? Did they use any images and have they drawn any images over there, etc.? And if it is a math class or a physics class, you can just assess them based on solving the problems, right? Whether the problem is correct or not, how many steps the group members have used, or did they follow the right procedure, etc. For that, you can give 5 marks. And then content of the presentation, whether the content is good or not, for that 5 marks. While presenting or while writing down the problems on the board and explaining to the whole class, what is the clarity of thought or expression of that particular student of that group. So you'll assess for 5 marks. Then language or grammatical accuracy, because it is an English class, when they present a mind map, we'll also look for the grammatical accuracy and the language expressions that the students have used. But if it is a maths class or a physics class, there also you can check how, what kind of language they have used, etc. Maybe you will not give more importance to this aspect, but it's up to you. You can change the rubrics. Based on my English class, I have given these rubrics. Now, body language, because this is very much important, I have given 5 marks to this. And total marks are 25, right? So, like this, you can ask the students, they can put the heading group 1. If group 6 is assessing group 1, they will write group 1 over here, and for the group 1, they can give the marks. And if group 1 is assessing group 2, so you can write group 2 assessment, and then group 1 will give the marks for group 2, like that, peer feedback, right? So these are the various ways in which you can design the materials, and the teacher has to be ready with the lesson plan like this. At the same time, he or she has to be ready with the materials also for a flipped classroom to be successful. So the assignment for all of you is, you can also prepare a lesson plan by choosing a topic related to your subject, and you can prepare the lesson plan like this, and whatever materials are required for your class, you can also choose like this and design the lesson plan like in this way, right? Thank you so much.